Just you and I.
For you. I find the mute button, at least for me.
The BRD report.
Some stuff here. I think one of the I know part of why Power BI is coming into this conversation.
To market, so we can turn things around a little quicker. I'm not as familiar with that aspect. What I've heard from a lot of our customers, especially like the Sioux Janitas, is that we don't have enough visualization.
Yeah, I understand. They like to sell the eye candy, you know.
Yes.
Command centers, knobs and dials, and things flickering around, right?
Yeah, little graphs and everything. So.
Right. I've heard that forever. Great, I understand that. Yeah. I have no. I'll speak of all these things momentarily, but yeah, I understand all that. I understand. And have a bunch of wants to make them happy, and I heard about it in HCA. Excuse me, I heard about it in the because when we're thinking about these enterprise-wide engagements, if we have a customer like HCA that's wanting data on a wire, you know, data exports, they need to be talking to one program, not
right.
5 different programs for 5 different domains.
That's another conversation I'll be having with Ravi and Abdihadi and all them.
Okay, great. I see as a layperson. Hometown for me.
That can be reused in other areas.
This is all what you're hitting on. You're already there.
Okay.
Run. Okay. So now I come here, and I have visualizations, but again, visualization's the commodity. You know, to me, every customer's going to want slightly something different. Hey, they may, 80-20 then, but 20% they'll want to do. Up at the top, yeah. And so there's 4 different ways that you can begin a visualization. Your own file or the semantic model. This is 80% of the power to an enterprise. An enterprise now could come here and go to your semantic model, choose the 4. External facing customer experience, we want to be drinking off the same data well, right? Because we want, that's one of the key things, is that unless otherwise noted, we want the customer and us seeing the same. Hey, what we showed.
we're out of sync,
Same,
and then the customer
right,
looks
out of
like we're
sync.
disconnected.
This is, so see the columns here, who the owner is,
Mhm.
when they refreshed it, the location, and then the endorsement. That fifth column is our data quality indices report that is certified by access to a work for anything, right?
Mhm.
Okay, there'll be the next iteration of it. So that's one big power. And now it's the data. And that's what everyone is really concerned about at the end of the day. Consistency in the data. All right. So my opinion, what I advocate to the, I'll say my project, consuming an API, right? How is she and her?
So if we get individuals
Documentation. Part of the equation. And I'm going to just talk data stream for everything. You're going to have to, have some qualification to it. So I'm sure there'll be some place where it's documented what stream does what. But just assume that that's in place. Well, then an account manager for, let's say, ACA, Dan Verderamo. I don't know if do you know Dan?
I know Dan very well.
Okay. Maybe just internal discussion. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward. We tell them, hey, here's your start. It's machine learning. We're constantly looking. Oh, you know, Ken, and now I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Sure.
But I know the weaknesses of it. In the pluses, of course. The BRD, show where my assets are. And you have a the filter's not showing, but go in and use a traditional immersive tools. I don't have to always to isolate those.
Had to get not necessarily to that needle, but at least
I think will be to have all these.
okay.
It's what they call a walled garden. Right?
Okay.
Okay, well then, I didn't know that Explorer. They love how easy it is because as I was showing here, it's like, oh wow, there's all these, filter widgets and filters over here. Turn some of these things off.
Okay.
We're making mention of it really did prevent us from going fast because is it to internationalize. We next week on time you have, it's like leisure time, and then we'll maybe go into what area of fleet metrics that we do today do you think should be the heart of our POC? Is it really just kind of more the service focus? Okay, I've got my ID and I want to see downtime and.
I would say you've got the service focus, and then we have the health, IB health. I would say those are probably the two biggest ones. And you mentioned IB health, and I'm like, that's another one that could be very. It's like, man, everyone says this is really good. So maybe we focus on the service side.
These metrics that are very close to one another, uptimes and downtimes, and
in terms of metrics, total time to repair, exporting data, exporting inventory, exporting service histories, etc. I'm going to jump into this tile in a second. Fleet metrics, which gives you kind of a broad stroke. Orders and billing access. I would click this and it would then trigger a whole workflow process that would allow me visibility into this section. Okay. And then lastly, at the very bottom, you've got some friendly links, I guess you can call them. So things to ultrasound clubs, information on cyber, manuals, etc. So again, kind of a Amazon type interface, tile based. And then I just want to go to fleet really quickly because this is going to bring us into the PCS discussion. Okay. So fleet, if you think of fleet, it's really intended as